Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tristate with Tiny and Katy.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards.
We are joined today by Kelli Deiterich, who is the Training and Development Manager for Middletown Valley Bank. Happy Halloween.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Very festive in here today.
You saw everybody's costumes?
Yeah, I did. It's great.
I was explaining to Kelli that the winner, whoever gets the best costume, gets a really nice prize. So everybody really brings their A game when it comes to Halloween.
Hey, when it comes to a day off, you need to do that, right?
I mean, look at Tiny.
Yeah. You're dressed, I think, as Tiny today, right?
I am.
At the radio station. I got it.
Sometimes I'm told I can pull that off.
Okay.
Other times I'm a little bit lacking.
Most original. Maybe you'll win most original.
Yes,
there you go.
Yeah.
See, I'm
Best
trying to help you
homemade
out.
costume.
There you go. Trying to help you out.
So, Kelli, I know that you work for Middletown Valley Bank, but you're here today really to talk about the work that you guys do with Hospice of Washington County
Correct.
and some upcoming events that you have.
Sure.
So, my first question is, there are so many organizations that MVB can support. Why hospice?
Middletown Valley Bank is all about the community. I started working with Middletown Valley Bank a little over 10 years now. And the biggest thing that I really, really appreciated about not only working for a community bank, but for working for a community bank that is big in the community, that gives back to the community and wants to get involved. BJ, who is our president and CEO, encourages us to get involved in groups that we are passionate about. And hospice is one of those groups that I've been very passionate about, based on some personal experiences with hospice. So once I started working there and he said, hey, what group would you like to get involved in? The first thing that came to mind was hospice. So I'm very, very blessed to be part of that team.
And there are a few employees at Middletown Valley Bank whose lives were somehow touched by Hospice of Washington County. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I'm one of those.
Yeah.
So just a little bit about our story and what happened with that. My mom got sick it's been about 10 years now. And Mom had never been in the hospital. She had never been sick. And we found out she was terminally ill with cancer. And one of the first things they wanted to say to us, she's at the hospital at Meredith, and they said we should bring hospice in. Would you be interested in that? The very first thing I thought about was no. I don't want to hear hospice because hospice means end of life.
Right.
And, you don't like to think about those kinds of things. And they said, let us just bring somebody in to talk to you a little bit about that. So when they brought somebody in to talk to my brother and I and my father, we realized that hospice could really give a gift to our mom by being able to take her home.
Right, absolutely.
And so, no less than 24 hours later, my mom was at home enjoying family being around her in the comforts of her own home. And we immediately started getting support from Hospice of Washington County. And I think that's one of the biggest things that they do. So my mom passed about a week after she came home. And then 2 weeks later, we found out my dad was terminally ill.
Oh no. Oh, my gosh.
So not only was hospice there once, but in less than 2 weeks, we had them bringing the beds back in, and our same group was coming in to support us. And we found out my dad was terminally ill. He was getting sick when we were all caring for my mom in, the 9 months that she was ill. And he was more or less thinking of my mom versus thinking of himself. And unfortunately, Dad got sick too. So hospice was back in, and we lost our parents literally 3 months and 3 days apart.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't necessarily know we could have done it on our own. Hospice is a tremendous organization. And I will say that those people that work there are angels. For them to deal with the types of things that they deal with in that end of life and dying process, and the way that they do it is just tremendous, and it really helped us in a lot of ways.
Thank you for sharing that
Sure.
story. That's really, wow, that's something. But I mean, when we think of hospice, like you said earlier, you think end of life, and that's something that's really difficult to come to terms with. But
Sure.
the fact that you were able to have both your parents in the comfort of their home, which I'm sure, there's a comfort to the smell of your home and your things being right there. I'm glad they were able to help you with that. And now you have a big event coming up called Celebrity Waiter.
We do.
And talk to us about that.
Yeah, this is the 7th year for Celebrity Waiter, and hospice figured out a good way to give back to building more funds for hospice to be successful, because there's no cost when it comes to hospice.
Right.
Everything is taken care of, and it's
Which
done
is
through the
incredible
fundraisers.
in and of itself.
It truly is.
It's probably, maybe it's a good thing because you couldn't put a price on it.
Right.
How
Absolutely.
do you put a price on that peace of mind?
Absolutely.
And
You're
your
right.
main concern is the person. It's not finances and all those other things. It's just let's focus on this person and
Right.
not worry about any of the other stressors of life.
Right, exactly. So hospice does fundraisers, and you can't spell fun or fundraiser without fun, right? So hospice does things, and they try to make things fun. And Celebrity Waiter has been just that. So what we do is we have a committee of people that go around to different businesses and ask, folks to be part of Celebrity Waiter. So we have themes each year for the Celebrity Waiter contest. And so during the time frame of when you build your team and the event, which is going to be Friday night, November the 8th at Meredith Park, you can fundraise. So teams come up with really, really collaborative and creative ideas of how to raise money for their team. And not only do we win money for hospice, or we get money in for hospice through the fundraising, but we also, the team that wins gets to take home the silver platter.
Oh.
So it can be a little bit of a competition between businesses. This year, one of our special celebrity waiters is going to be Lou Scally. So Lou's going to be coming in, and he and his wife are going to be doing a table. And the cool part is you get to wait on the table. So the people that come in that buy tickets for your table, you're actually their waiters and waitresses. So that night we can also raise funds and tips through different things that we can do. This year's theme is a sports theme. So the team from Middletown Valley Bank is doing a theme of a league of their own. So we have some coaches, and I have the opportunity to be part of that group this year too, so I'm really excited about that. And we do silent auctions at the event. You do gift baskets, and there's lots of different things that people can do. I think one year we had somebody dress up like Paula Deen and her 3 sons, and she was a baker, and she made all kinds of homemade pies. So who can compete with that? When you're trying to win money, and she's selling pies, and everybody's buying those. But it all goes for a wonderful cause, and it goes toward Dewey's House. Are you familiar with Dewey's House in Washington County?
Dewey's House.
Take us through that for anybody who's watching or listening who may not know.
Absolutely. So Dewey's House is an inpatient facility in Washington County that will take care of patients who maybe can't go home and they need additional support and care. But it makes you feel like you're at home. So the environment that you're in, it's not only good for the patient, but it's also good for the family. You have TV, they have nice music playing. It almost gives you the comforts of home without being able to be home.
Not necessarily the sterile feeling of a hospital.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you can have different people come in to visit you at any time. It's open. And it also gives folks that comfort and feel that they need. And it also helps the families. There's beds, there's people that come in to take care of you. Plus your loved ones are getting the additional care that they need that hospice can provide based on their staff that they have there.
For your Celebrity Waiter event, how many businesses do you have signed up so far?
We have, let me just tell you here, we have 9 different businesses and groups that are signed up to be Celebrity Waiters this year. And if you're interested in giving, if anybody's out there interested in wanting to give, you can actually go out to the hospice website, or if you're interested in helping out with Middletown Valley Bank, you can actually go out to our website, and there is a link on there that you can actually donate, and you can give to our team if you want, or to any of the other teams that you see out there. We would just love for you to go out and take a look at that, and to be able to provide some funds for Hospice of Washington County to support Dewey's House.
Now, I'm assuming that those are basically, we're at the point where those are the only ways that you can really participate as far as making donations for this particular event. So the time for making a team is closed, and attending is closed. Is that correct?
Making teams is closed at this point. However, if you go out on the hospice website and you see any teams or anybody that you know that's participating, you can call them and say, hey, do you still have room at your table? Can we buy a ticket? We would love to come to this event. we can certainly make sure that we can make them be part of that.
Yeah, I think what's great is that during that event they do a live count of how much each team has raised, who's in
Correct.
the lead, and then I don't want to say skits, but each team has the ability to say, at this point, if you would like X, Y, and Z has agreed to do this, if they can raise $200 within the next 10 minutes, and someone who maybe do the limbo or,
yeah.
you know.
You're exactly right.
A lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's a great event. And we're really excited to be able to do it at Meredith Park this year.
I was going to say,
Yes.
how
how's it gonna
is
work?
that working?
Yeah, up in their lounge area where the boxes and everything are, they have a wonderful space up there. So they've allowed us to come in and do Celebrity Waiter there this year. That's why we thought it would be a good idea to do a sports theme. So it's going to be a fun event, and getting Meredith Park involved with the boxcars having their first season there, it should be a really nice event and a really good time. So we're glad to be partnering with them.
We did a Celebrity Waiter event. Was that last year?
We've done it every year.
Oh, I've been a part of it last year.
Nice.
And I had no idea what to expect. And
Sure.
there were so many moving parts and so much fun and so much action. And it really was a great time. And it was really fun to see the effort that each team put into it. I mean, they really took it seriously and came up with these incredible themes and raffles. And, you know, it was a great time.
Yes. And if you haven't gotten your tickets, and if you do get a hold of somebody that has that, just know that the night that we're going to be there, we actually have a signed baseball by the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars. So
cool.
we're going to be raffling that off as well. So it should be pretty fun.
Do you guys have any room at your table still?
We have 2 tables that are completely full at this point.
Okay.
Yes, we do. But we're always looking for folks if they want to donate, though. We'd love to have their support for Hospice of Washington County.
Awesome.
How many teams? I know you said 9 teams. How many people are you expecting to have that night?
See, we're probably thinking about 150 people to that event, which is a really, really good turnout. So, you know, we continue to hope that those folks, when they come in, they'll want to continue to give, and they'll enjoy the evening of being waited on by their waiters and waitresses that either they work with or are part of the community with.
Now, the Celebrity Waiter event is coming up quick. It's next Friday. And what I love about Middletown Valley Bank is you are very involved in the community.
Yes.
There are so many different organizations that you support and work very closely with, and I know hospice is one of the main ones. When this event wraps up, is there another event that is coming up afterwards that maybe with a little bit more time you can get more participation if anybody's listening or wants to help?
With Middletown Valley Bank or hospice?
Either one.
Either one? Okay, yeah. Middletown Valley Bank, we're always putting information on our Facebook page. So we're on our Instagram page. So please go out and connect with us on Facebook, Instagram. We have a great group of marketing team that does things out there. So please go out and take a look at those things. Hospice of Washington County, we do have some other events coming up within the rest of this year. We have our Veterans Breakfast that we're doing for our veterans.
Tell us about that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
Please.
it is absolutely wonderful. We do an event for our veterans where they can come and have a breakfast, and we, recognize them for their service and the things that they've done, which is tremendous. So we do one. We now have Franklin County Hospice and Washington County Hospice. So those two are partnering very closely together and doing a lot of the same things. Yeah. So we thank our veterans for their service, and it's just a great opportunity to do that.
And how does one participate or take advantage of that breakfast?
That would be something that you would do. You would go on the hospice Facebook page, or I do have a phone number. Let me provide that phone number out to you all. It would be, you would call Hospice of Washington County at 301-791-6360. That's 301-791-6360. Or you can email them at info@hospiceofwc.org.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
A couple of the other events at Dewey's house each year, around, I believe it's in the December timeframe, we do something called Lights for Love. So for loved ones that have passed away within the past year, we do an event where you can actually, you can buy a paver for Dewey's house. You can actually buy a dove to put on the tree that we planted the first year we did that of Dewey's house. And then we take the opportunity to read the loved ones that have passed within that year at Dewey's house.
I bet that's pretty emotional.
It is a very emotional event, and I've had the opportunity to be part of that, and I've had the opportunity to read the names of some of those loved ones, and to meet the people when they come in that want to, just be there to share with others who have lost loved ones is pretty special.
And it's already a rather difficult time of the year doing those things, so it's very emotionally charged. I can imagine that it's quite the somber, but almost a celebratory event in a way that an organization such as Dowie's House and Hospice of Washington County exists, because like you said it with your story, which was, it's hard enough to lose one parent, and then to lose two so close together, it'll very easily turn a life upside down, I'm sure. But when you had, and it wasn't just the physical support for your parents, I think that it turns into emotional support.
It does.
For the families, even though it may not be direct, it may not be the literal offering of emotional support. Although I know that happens, emotional support comes in the form of not having to stress as much about allowing you so your parents, your family, they can in many cases pass with dignity and comfort, and that is a comfort to the families, knowing that their loved ones are able to do that. That means a lot, and that's what Hospice of Washington County, Dowie's House provides. Very, very worthy causes, and you just glow when you talk about them.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I can't imagine
I can feel the passion that you have for these
I do.
organizations.
I do. And when BJ asked me, he said, "Which organization would you like to get involved in? What are you passionate about?" I'm like, first thing I thought about was hospice.
Absolutely.
What a better way to get involved and to help them when they helped us in our biggest time of need.
Absolutely. Now, this might be a silly question. Dowie's House. Is Dowie an acronym or a person's name?
I'm glad you asked that question. Dowie actually is Dowie Glessner, Neil Glessner's mother. And he actually works in the community. They have a Glessner business, with electronics and things like that. And so it was named after his mother. And the hospice board of directors and Neil actually thought, wouldn't it be great if we had this opportunity to put a facility together for people that needed that extra care that we could provide, so it's not such a sterile environment, it being in a hospital. But yeah, so they put that together. And I don't know if you know the story, but at one point when Dowie's House was almost built, it burnt down.
Oh.
Wow.
Jeez.
And they were able to raise the funds in a very short period of time to get that rebuilt. So it was definitely a tough time, but yet they were able to rebuild that, and it is amazingly strong. And I believe at last count they took care of over 2,000 folks so far in Dowie's House just this year alone.
And that's in just Washington County?
That's just Washington County. It's the only facility that we have in Washington County for something like that right now.
I think it may be lost on some folks when they hear about organizations, charities needing money. This is one of those, sadly, that the phone does not really stop ringing.
Right.
Everyone has their time, and if you are able to go, or if there are some that go suddenly, obviously, but to those that know that there's a window of time and it's approaching, like I said, that phone is going to constantly be ringing. Those bills are going to constantly pile up, and not one of those bills goes to the families of the people who are dealing with this.
That's really incredible.
Yeah.
That is really incredible.
Yeah, and I'll mention one other thing. Hospice not only provides such great holistic care, but they also have a specialty fund for a couple of different things. So benevolence funds, for example, if there's families that can't afford groceries at that point, or if they can't do things. So not only for their medical care, but it also
Day-to-day
comes in and provides some day-to-day. It will help you get groceries that you need. There's also a Jennifer Fund unfortunately, for pediatric patients. So if there's families that can't afford to go down the road and stay in a hotel, they'll get a gift card, to be able to put them up in a hotel for things like that. And then we have the Wish Fund. So I believe we had somebody at one point, somebody that was a veteran, and they wanted to ride a tank. It was their last wish to be able to ride a tank. And Hospice of Washington County made that happen. For that gentleman, which is incredible.
Yeah.
So the different things that hospice does and the way that they give back to the community is very special.
And thank you for sharing all of that.
Yes.
I think everybody knows hospice and the general, what they do generally, but all these, we kind of took a deep dive into it a little bit. So thank you for sharing all of that. And again, give the website if somebody wanted to donate for the celebrity waiter, where would they go and do that?
They could go to Middletown Valley Bank on our website to do that if you wanted to vote for our team. We would love that. Or you could go to Hospice of Washington County on their Facebook page. Or you can go to info@hospiceofwashingtoncounty.org to send them an email to ask some questions about that. Or you can go to their website, Hospice of Washington County on the web.
Kelli, I want to say a big thank you to you for joining us on Let's Talk Tri-State, but I want to also give a big thank you to Middletown Valley Bank. The reason for that is not just because of the work that you do aside from providing wonderful banking services, but we reached out to Middletown Valley Bank and said, we'd like to have you on Let's Talk Tri-State. That was an invitation to talk about whatever you wanted. They could have easily sent someone that could have talked about banking services, that could have done a sales pitch, that could have said, come see us, and conducted it as a business. You conducted it as a member of the community and used the entire time to talk about some issues and some organizations that mean a lot to you personally and to you as Middletown Valley Bank. So a massive thank you to Middletown Valley Bank for that.
It's our pleasure. Selfless. Thanks for having me. Appreciate that.
And I hope you have a lot of success at the event.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Next year we'll have to do it with you.
Yes.
Oh, that would be great. We'd love for you to. So there we go. I already got your name on my head here.
Right.
So next year we'll do a team.
Sounds good. Thanks, Kelli.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.